sit, I'll just welcome you. My name is Carrie Wheaton. I wear two hats today. One is I'm the Executive Director of Billings Forge Community Works, where you are, and the other is I'm a proud board member of reSET. So I want to welcome you to Billings Forge and to the first accelerator graduation. I'm so happy to host you. If you don't know anything about Billings Forge, we are a nonprofit and we do run social enterprise businesses, culinary job training programs over at the kitchen at Billings Forge. Soon to open a satellite at the downtown Hartford Public Library. So we train folks with multiple obstacles to employment, coming out of incarceration and homelessness, and we run a vibrant catering and cafe business. We do both at the same time, and we've had an 85% success rate placing our folks. So we know from being on the ground how social enterprise can work and change the environment. So welcome. I also wear a third hat. I have a big head, which is I oversee Firebox Restaurant for the Melville Charitable Trust. That's a philanthropic investment in social enterprise. So if you finish here and are still hungry, please go grab a bite at Firebox. I'm so happy to have you here and to welcome you and to introduce you, anybody who doesn't know her, I'm sure it's not possible, to Michelle Coates, our Executive Director of reSET. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie, and thank you for having us here tonight. It's really important to us to be in and operating social enterprise as we're trying to continue to spread that idea across Connecticut. It's my privilege to welcome you all here this evening to the graduation of our very first class of the Social Enterprise Accelerator Program. This has been something that's been a couple years in the making for us, and at least a few months in the making for our first class. They're an amazing, amazing group of individuals, and it's been my pleasure, my privilege to be able to work with them over the last 10.5 weeks to help support bringing their ideas to fruition, helping them to refine their business plans, helping them to access skills and support in the community that they need to be able to succeed, and that's what we really want to have happen. Speaking for this class in general, it's a privilege to work with entrepreneurs at any sort of point in time. Entrepreneurs are dreamers. They have big dreams because they think about the world that could be instead of the world that is. But it's really a pleasure to be working with this class of social entrepreneurs because they dream big on behalf of all of us. They take a look at the communities that are around us and say, how could they be happier, healthier, stronger places? And they're going to share those visions with us tonight. So please be warm and welcoming and supportive of that big vision. We all have a role to play in making them successful. A couple of housekeeping things going on for tonight in terms of structure and format. We are splitting the presentations into 3 groups of social entrepreneurs. So we're going to have one group of 3. They're going to present in succession, so one right after another. Then we're going to take a break after the first 3 and have a group Q&A session. So all 3 of them will come back up over here, and feel free to direct your questions to any one of the 3 entrepreneurs that are up here to take your questions. Then we'll do another group of 4, another group Q&A session, and our final group of 3. And afterwards, we'll invite you to stick around for some more food and beverage and networking, and to talk to these guys about how they're actually going to bring this vision to life. Without further ado, I think we'll get things started.
Well, good evening. I'm Leslie Grumholtz, and I'd like to thank you all for coming out tonight. Small businesses are facing some really big challenges today. It's kind of like David and Goliath. But these businesses have a slingshot that's way more powerful than any marketing or IT department. They've got social capital. They have relationships with their consumers that they can leverage with technology and catapult to the marketplace. They can actually level the playing field. But here's the problem. We've talked to small businesses, and they're actually overwhelmed by technology. They're looking for help. And that's why I'm here. My partner Josh Lipschutz and I founded Indigo Streets. It's a multi-sided platform for business owners and consumers who care about their communities. We offer tools to business owners so that they can collaborate with each other, get over their technophobias, and engage with consumers in an online, interactive, local marketplace. Our revenue stream, we have 3 revenue streams: business member subscriptions, advertising, and tech services to our business members. If we were only to focus on Connecticut, these would be our financial projections. Right now, we have about 65 free members in the site. We plan to continue that free model through 2013. We project that we'll have revenues in 2014 and profit by 2015. There are plenty of competitors out there, both locally as well as nationally. In fact, the hyperlocal space is booming. But nobody's doing it like we are, as a grassroots, scalable social enterprise that's demystifying technology for business owners, that is inviting collaboration, and is asking consumers to be part of the solution. In fact, we surveyed potential users, and 43% of them told us that they'd like to have the ability to welcome or to bring their favorite businesses to the streets. And 71% of them told us it made a difference to them knowing that we were a social enterprise. There's plenty of, we really believe in partnerships, and we've actually already started partnering and creating strategic alliances with some of our beta towns. We hope to have an impact on local communities by strengthening businesses and by building relationships. And we also plan to use the data that we collect to create metrics that measure both economic impact as well as social impact. I've lived in Guilford for 21 years. I've started 2 nonprofits, and I've seen firsthand that change really can happen when people come together. My partner Josh is a web developer and has been doing in business for 20 plus years. And for the past year, we've been bootstrapping Indigo Streets. We make a great pair. I really want to do good. Josh really wants to do well. And we believe Indigo Streets can do both very well. So we actually hope to launch our next site by 2014. We have an improved site that we're working on, and we're looking for both financial as well as advisory help to get marketing and branding and help with other strategic initiatives. Thank you very much.
My name is Brett Eisenhower. I'm the co-founder of Sunbase Corporation. It's a cooperative exchange enterprise. Sunbase Corporation has a patent pending for a software product that's going to integrate the energy industry, specifically renewable energy, with the financial industry. As a result, this will give customers an opportunity to earn monetary credits toward a choice of life and health insurance, retirement savings, education assistance, and limited food and housing expenses. Currently, we don't have an integrated system that connects these 2 industries in a perpetually sustainable way. What we do have is a major disconnect between 2 industries that could and should be the catalyst for a viable economic system. For example, our electric grid is the largest built infrastructure in the world, connecting billions of residents, businesses, and governments, but still only offers the same product that it did from day one, electricity. Our solution is to develop a cooperative exchange between these industries that literally gives them the power to systematically balance socioeconomic issues. This will transform an antiquated grid system to a smart grid that can be compared to how the smartphone transformed the telecommunications system around the world. Sunbase will partner with energy industries and financial industries that provide the necessary products and services that will encourage customers to be more engaged and to take advantage of all the incentives that we have to offer without having to pay anything extra. And the more engaged the customer is, the more we all benefit. In the state of Connecticut, we have 1.5 million electric customers. We have over 200,000 people without health insurance. We have over 377,000 residents living in poverty. These statistics not only reflect a market need for a cooperative exchange, but it also reflects the target market and potential scalability. Obviously, there's a lot of competition in the energy industry and the financial industry, But what makes Sunbase different is that we create a higher level of social value for our partnership companies through cooperation and collaboration, which in turn will have a positive impact on their their corporate social responsibility. The value proposition for our customers will be to provide new ways of building personal wealth and well-being through their electric meters. For businesses, it'll provide new or additional employee benefits. For energy partners, it'll bring new customers and increase demand for renewable energy. For financial partners, it'll create new model of distribution channels. Revenues will come from various fees and commissions that are the industry standard for energy and financial broker services. By creating a new system of encouragement and financial mechanisms focused on the 3 pillars of sustainability, people will be able to work individually and together for future prosperity. I've dedicated my entire life to public service at the federal, state, and local level, and nothing would give me more satisfaction than if I can integrate these 2 industries so that it could give more power to the people. Thank you.
Okay, my name is John Murphy. I'm from Human Arts Media, and I help organizations working for positive change make better use of local media and the internet. It is difficult and expensive to communicate with the public today, and I offer a new media model for developing locally based and proactive messaging or to expand on existing investments. We offer a menu of multimedia products for promotion and support of fundraising and grants. I have 40 years of radio and TV experience serving nonprofits, social agencies, co-ops, and in the future, hopefully, social enterprises. I can work directly without traditional agency overheads, creating a portfolio of high-quality work at efficiencies of scale. We live in a media-saturated society, and consumers are drowning in irrelevant messages on a growing number of devices. Traditional ad strategies are increasingly ineffective. People must be related to and contacted at different levels today. Human Arts Media helps clients navigate this environment and maintain control over critical messaging. We function as a local network of digital media channels that usually operate independently. We design and create content for audiences that are shared and leveraged across these platforms and channels efficiently and effectively. Material can be accessed live, recorded, or on demand via the web. We can assist with planning and design, production and distribution according to the scale and the available resources. Collaboration with partners can share and leverage matching and other supports. This media service model provides a shared information highway for an emerging community service economy. There is no access to traditional media for continuing or in-depth coverage of these critical roles and missions. Human Arts Media shares the same core service values and mission as does this community of servers. We use media to enable them to grow and succeed in their good work and their service missions, and to co-create long-term sustainable efforts. Human Arts Media can reach a large existing base of clients already in great need for expanded public awareness, understanding, and goodwill. The funding environment today is extremely difficult and competitive. The Speak Out Connecticut campaign is an example from 2008-2010. It provided promotion and coverage of voter registration and citizen activism efforts. Special events at Real Art Ways and elsewhere provided content for sharing on all media platforms. This is an ideal template for any organization to use in a local campaign. This model is flexible and scalable. Communications can be applied strategically and can vary by frequency, type of message, distribution platform, and scale of investment. I propose and ask for 3 levels of support for the first year of startup operations. 5,000 can serve 2 to 3 clients, 15,000 can serve 6 to 9, and 25,000 would enable 10 to 15 to apply and test this model. My service business has very low overhead with little new capital needed to begin work now. Most expenses will be related to client projects. My break-even point is only about $5,000, and this is possible during year 1. I also hope that this business, as it grows, will provide employment opportunities for unemployed or underemployed media producers in our communities. So I want to thank you very much for your time today, and I look forward to chatting with you after the meeting. And I want to thank reSET for making this whole thing possible. Thank you.
All right, so we're going to start the group Q&A. If you could just let us know who the question is directed to, we'll have the appropriate person to answer. Mark.
For John, are you basically asking for a investor to sponsor you on behalf of a nonprofit?
That is one option. The other option is for a supporter to provide half of the funding for a project, and I would have the client provide the other half as a reduced subsidy. So that's one way that it could work. If there's a full subsidy, I could do more for more groups more quickly, but if you want to leverage the assets, they could be matched by the clients as their investment.
And this question is for really everybody. In terms of the employment that you expect, do you have any ideas for what you expect to have employed people over the next 35?
So the question was employment projections for all of the entrepreneurs, correct?
I think we're going to we could do starting with maybe 10 to 15, but as the business expands across Connecticut and into other states, it'll grow. The employees will grow with the business.
So we're starting out on the shoreline, but we plan to expand into Connecticut, and then we hope to go beyond. And we're still working out the figures, but we know that we need salespeople, we'll need customer service, we're going to need editorial people helping us on our site. So I don't have numbers, but I would say it's comparable to our revenues. So starting out small, but we plan to expand.
Yes, I've worked in the media for a long time in Connecticut, and I know many producers for film, video, and audio that would love to have work. And because this is project-based, it can be scaled to the available projects. And I think it would be a way to give people support. And for the client to have media support without in-house employee-related costs. It's more paying for exactly the service you need without the other overheads. And that can also help people find work. So in terms of how many, I would say maybe 5 or 6 the first year. And the more projects, the more options.
Other questions? Claire.
This question is for Leslie. I didn't quite understand exactly what you just made, but what is it? Is it a site where customers recommend companies? I couldn't quite get all the pieces.
In 3 minutes, it's hard to get
I
that.
know, it's a bad format for anything. So.
No, it's basically both. So we have the back end of the site is for business owners. So there's a place there with a social networking site for them to collaborate with each other. We give them tools. They learn they learn about social media. And the front end is a public marketplace that is by street. So each town is its own local marketplace, and it's very interactive. So it's really about consumers and business owners kind of boosting each other. And our philosophy is that a community is made up of more than just businesses, and economies can only do well when people are investing in relationships as well as businesses. So it's to create a supportive environment, and that allows ratings and reviews. It allows listings of activities and events that are happening in town. It allows for a feed of chatter, conversation. There's all different ways that they can interact.
Jim, did you have a question?
Sure. My question is for Brett. Could you give us an example of an individual consumer, how they would, in a day-to-day example of how they tap into what your company would be providing to then get access to the healthcare?
Yes, basically it's all based on the kilowatt hours that they purchase from the grid. As long as it's renewable energy, for every kilowatt hour of energy that they purchase, they will earn monetary credits for every kilowatt hour, and they can apply those credits toward those choice of benefits that I mentioned, whether it's life insurance, retirement savings, or so forth. Does that explain?
Sure. Yeah.
Dave?
Yeah, I would say, again, I was motivated by all three, but going with the last 2 points that were brought up and even with John, in future presentations you can provide one individual example. When period, that would really help us.
They restrict and gave them 3 minutes. They have lots more to say. That's our fault. Other questions? All right. Thanks, everyone. Keisha, you ready?
Good evening. My name is Keisha Ash, and I'm a statistic. I graduated. Okay, there we go. I graduated from the University of Virginia, one of the top schools in the nation, with a degree in biomedical engineering. Out of 58 students, I was one of 3 African Americans, and I was the only girl. As a minority and a female, this put me at a whopping 1.7% of my graduating class. Nevertheless, I graduated and entered the University of Connecticut to start my PhD as a chemical engineer. Again, I found myself in a crowd of 1 and said this time I decided to do something about it. With my partner, Tiffany St. Bernard, a UConn graduate and budding entrepreneur in her own regard, we came up with an idea to start an organization called Mini Mentors. Mini Mentors is an organization focused on the power of near-age mentoring to inspire, encourage, and support underrepresented middle and high school students' interest in, pursuit, and most importantly, attainment of science, technology, engineering, and math degrees. Innovations in STEM are critical to the U.S. economy. In fact, by the year 2018, jobs are projected to increase twice that as compared to non-STEM jobs. And obviously, if my story is an example, we are critically lacking minorities and women in both of these fields. Our social enterprise connects individuals from middle schoolers to young working professionals with near-age mentors using on-site, online, and mobile mentoring. We aim to be the central hub where mentors, universities, companies, and other advocates and supporters can tell students about various programs, internships, scholarships, career developments, and other opportunities in STEM. Since 2009, public and private sectors have annually invested $3 billion in STEM education initiatives. In Connecticut alone, Governor Malloy recently proposed a $1.5 billion initiative. We intend to capture 15% of this market, utilizing various revenue streams such as grants, donations, consulting, university and company subscriptions, as well as sponsored ad space. Our projections indicate that in a little over a year, we'll break even and earn revenues of $4.5 million by year 2016, and also serving over 150,000 students. With the UConn School of Engineering support, our pilot program has nearly 30 mentors. And in partnership with local youth service organizations, we have already served over 400 middle and high school students using our on-site and mobile mentoring strategies. We currently have a strong volunteer leadership team. However, in order to grow our management team and complete our website development, we are in need of your support. We are seeking investments, donations, mentors, and board members. Help us bridge the gaps to make tomorrow's careers in STEM visible, valuable, and most importantly, viable in the minds of young people tomorrow. Thank you for your time and attention.
Hi, I'm Jackie Connor, and I'm a volunteer at the Hartford Artisans Weaving Center. The Weaving Center is a not-for-profit that was created when the Oak Hill School for the Blind abruptly closed their weaving program in 2008. This was devastating to the blind and low-sight weavers we refer to as artisans. There was initially no program that could provide them with the use of their weaving skills, the ability to earn a small income, dispel the loneliness and isolation common among this population, and provide a sense of purpose that comes from creating high-quality textiles that can be sold to the public, such as this scarf woven by Carmen, who lost her sight to glaucoma when she was in her early 20s. Our textiles are professionally designed by our executive director, Fran Curran. She's a nationally known master weaver. They are designed with regard to a weaver's skill level, current fashion, and marketability. 4 years ago, 3 members of the Hand Weavers Guild of Connecticut procured space and put together 20 borrowed and donated looms and opened the new Hartford Artisans Weaving Center. We now have 50 looms, 30 artisans, and approximately 30 regular volunteers, most of whom are experienced weavers from the Hand Weavers Guild. Together, we are a community of weavers that span a wide range of ethnic and socioeconomic backgrounds and abilities. Among our newest artisans are 2 women who recently lost their sight completely in midlife. The center has been important to them in this time of adjusting to their new disability. To quote one of these individuals, "Weaving gives me passion again. It is amazing the happiness I get from being here and being able to interact with the staff and other weavers. This place rocks." Our annual expenses are approximately $110,000 per year. Last year, we generated $55,000 of revenue from the sale of our textiles and from teaching weaving classes to the general public. The remainder of our expenses is covered by individual donations and grants. Now that we have survived the launch and first few years of our program, we are turning our focus toward long-term sustainability. We are also attempting to get as close as possible to being a self-sustaining program and have been working hard on production and sales of our textiles while not losing our original focus of providing a creative outlet for our artisans. Any resources you're aware of that can further these goals would be very helpful. Please consider making a donation or purchasing our fabulous Made in Hartford textiles. We have our big sale and open studio in November of each year. If you give us your email address on the sign-up sheet in the back, we'll be sure to send you notification. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Maureen Farmer. I'm a master gardener and a web application developer. How many of you garden? Raise your hands. How many of you gardeners sometimes grow more food than you could eat? You non-gardeners, wouldn't it be great if you could have the gardeners extra food? My business, The Farmer's Garden, will provide high-quality homegrown food to make it available to more people at low or no cost. The Farmer's Garden will use the web to build in-person local gardening communities across the country. Free membership allows members to post and search classifieds for ads for extra produce, surplus food, garden space, tools, and other gardening-related items and activities. Members will also be able to use a forum section to share tools and advice. They will also be able to upload photos and videos of their gardens. In addition, individuals and food banks will be able to post free wanted ads. I surveyed gardeners and businesses and food banks and received a positive response to my idea. There are 3 types of direct competitors to the Farmer's Garden. There are sites that do land sharing, produce sharing, and tool sharing. These include neighborhood goods, hyper-local board, and sharing backyards. But none of them offer all the features that the Farmer's Garden offers. The Farmer's Garden currently has 650 members. Potential members include gardeners and people interested in healthy eating. Gardening is one of the most popular hobbies in the country and the world. According to the National Gardening Association, 33 million households had food gardens at home, and an additional 2 million garden at a friend, neighbor, or relative's home. During the first year, marketing efforts will target Hartford, Connecticut, Denver, Colorado, and Portland, Oregon. I plan on purchasing advertising space in local gardening newsletters in these areas. Free advertising includes numerous inbound blog links from garden and food bloggers. I also use social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. In addition, I write gardening articles for Organic Gardening Today in exchange for a free ad. Revenue will be generated from 2 sources. Ads posted for selling items will cost 99 cents. Other ads will be free. As traffic to the site increases, I plan on selling advertising space to gardening centers, nurseries, seed companies, and tool manufacturers. There are over 12,000 types of these businesses in the United States. My business is expected to break even during the 3rd year of operations. In the 4th year, I plan on starting to donate a portion of the profits to food-based charities across the country. I have an MBA from the University of Connecticut. I'm a current member of the Connecticut Horticultural Society and the Connecticut Master Gardener Association. I'm looking for both investors and mentors to help grow my business. At the Farmer's Garden, we're a growing community, one tomato at a time. Thank you.
Our business is navigating to health. I'm Linda Goldsmith, the captain, and Deb Percival is the first mate. We connect people to health alternatives in their own communities. We are creating a strong website with community support and local events. And this is why. My daughters and I navigated from mold illness to complete health, and we used only alternative medicine because conventional medicine could not help us. We were sick and we couldn't think straight, and we had to figure out what the cause was and what was going to get us well. It was a long, lonely, expensive journey of trial and error, and it was often terrifying. And it doesn't have to be that hard for other people. The problem is awareness of the benefits of health alternatives and accessing local resources easily. A strong website and solid marketing can fix this. Deb and I have been marketing professionals for over 30 years each, and we've each run our own successful businesses. There are two audiences. The first audience is the navigator. The navigator is the one that's looking for alternative health. They benefit by an interactive, supportive community, and they also can easily access the community resources, projects, or practitioners, products, and services. The second audience are the resources. They benefit as well. They get educated audience, and they have a platform to market their expertise. By bringing these two local audiences together, allowing them to interact, creates an effective and unique business. The statistics are that 38% of the US adults are using CAM, which is a complementary and alternative medicine, with $33 million spent, or $1 billion spent. 50% of the patients in hospitals are requesting it. We measure our success from participation, web analytics, and profit. Our revenue will come from advertising, membership, affiliate sales, licensing, and partnerships. Our goal is to build a website and Connecticut community by 2014, and then we'll roll out across the country. Navigating to Health is seeking mentors, legal advice, investors, and a web development partner. You can start by going in the back, finding this card, and if you're interested, you can write down your email address, because business starts today, especially an online business, by starting with email addresses. We are all in the same boat. In May, come on board and chart your course to navigatingtohealth.com. Thank you very much, and thank you, reSET.
Questions for this group? Claire.
I'd be interested for each enterprise, how much capital are you seeking?
The question was, how much capital are you seeking right now?
Right now, we're probably at the very starting stage where we need a web development partner to start with, and we want to build our site. So $100,000 to establish our site and our community, and once that's proven, then we'll move forward.
Currently, we are in the black. So what we are looking for is going forward, we will always need to rely on individual donations. They tend to be in small amounts. I think the individual donations we received last year amounted to about $10,000. So no, fortunately, we're not looking for much.
We're actually in the same boat. We are in the beta development of our website right now. We've hired a company based out of Atlanta who is working with us at a discounted rate. So at this moment, we're seeking a base level of $10,000 to get our website off the ground with a targeted launch date of August of this year.
I'm still working on how much I would need, but the figures I showed in my slides were based on bootstrapping, and it was very helpful to me to do that because I realized that I do need help.
Other questions? Jim?
Question for Jackie. If you're in the black, and I know you said you've still got grants that are supporting it, what do you see as your biggest barrier to growth, or challenge to growing your business?
Okay, right now we've been in business 4 years. What we're attempting to do now is to improve our program. You know, the first few years were just basically, I think we were just shocked we made it. We were still alive. It was working. And now we are basically honing our skills and trying to do a better job with both designing and creating textiles, finding markets in which to sell them, and also creating learning programs and classes for our artisans. And also bringing in some guest artists to hang some of their work. We have a textile exhibit coming up soon with some beautiful tapestries. So we're just trying to make it basically all around better. And we are attempting to become as self-sustaining as possible, realizing that we really could never quite get there. Even an expert weaver has a hard time making a living in this country today. The materials are too expensive. So given the population we're working with, we could never actually reach it, but we're going to get as close as we can.
Mark?
For Linda, what would be a first step that sort of gets you to a point where you're at a proof point where you've gotten some kind of validation that this is going to fly?
We plan on this till the end of this year, 2013, to really, well, starting tomorrow, we're going to start building the website and continuing to test our audience to find out what their needs are. And that's both audiences being the practitioners, products and services, as well as the navigators. And our plan is to then build that audience through doing lectures and going to events and exhibiting and so forth and making awareness. But the plan is to build a strong enough site. We may have 1,000 members by the end of the year. And at that point, we plan on charging for advertising. So up till the end of the year, it'll be free to build the site. And your question was, I don't know that if it was answered, is once it's...
What's the step?
What are the steps?
I think that if you're looking to, if your goal is 1,000 subscribers or members, then I think that that's the piece that you want to say what kind of frequency or something like that. But there's a proof point that needs to be built around that. That says we've got people and they're coming to us enough.
And when do we know it's successful?
Right.
And it's worthy and being used and effective? That's, as I mentioned, it's really testing by how much participation. We're going to be doing local events, so how many people come and participate with that? It's an opportunity for the resources to advertise. It's an opportunity for the community to come and learn about the different opportunities. And so it's really participation initially. And then it's involvement in the site, because first they have to be aware of the site to get there. And then it's sharing it with other people. And then friends and family who are sick, they can learn about other opportunities. And they can do their own complementary medicine, and combining it together in their own way, what works best for them. And I think it's really the interaction and the use of it. And then as being a social enterprise, it's also profit that comes along with it, because we could be doing, you know, our heart comes, we want to do a benefit for the community, but we also need advertising and money to be coming in to support us doing that.
Yeah. Judy.
For many mentors, what's the revenue support? What's the business model?
Okay, good question. So since we're a nonprofit, a portion of our revenue has to come from charitable donations. So as I mentioned, there's quite a large opportunity in the STEM, in the education industry right now, as far as the government, public, and private sector money that's available. However, we do plan to be profitable in terms of charging subscription rates for companies and universities and, to be able to access our platform to more directly interact with the students. When I ask a lot of the students that I work with, why did you go to University of Connecticut? Why did you go to University of Virginia? So many of them say, oh, my cousin goes there, oh, my brother, my sister. So it's really an opportunity for the universities and also companies to have a more direct connection with potential students and potential employees, therefore the subscription rate. And as I mentioned, also there's advertising space that will be available, and we've already started some consulting work in the area as well.
One more question. Yes.
Again, Keisha. And so you're talking about going into high schools to do mentoring programs.
Yes.
And there's a lot of mentoring programs already. I mean, every school sends their kids into the city to mentor, blah, blah, blah. So what makes yours more intentional or a better model than what's already happening right now?
So the problem, and I'm talking from personal experience, when I participate in mentoring programs, there are two issues. One of which is there is a lack of training and oversight and management in a lot of mentoring programs. Number two, there are a lot of logistics involved with being involved, getting to the location, actually participating in different events, so on and so forth. So the model that we're proposing has three components: the traditional on-site or in-person mentoring, but also the mobile component and the online component as well. So we're combining three different strategies in order to reach some students who typically fall between the gaps because they don't have access to some of the resources that allow them to participate in traditional mentoring programs.
Thank you. Round of applause. Hi, my name is Karen Pace. My last name means peace. I've been seeking peace, and now I've actually created peace. I am the founder and creator of Peace Bar, Hartford's very own healthy and tasty nutrition bar. I am also a certified health counselor with a master's degree in integrative health. So I've also have been searching for the best ingredients that I could find for Peace Bar. Peace Bar is made up of mostly nuts and fruit, but it also contains my special ingredient, and that ingredient is called Tulsi. Tulsi is known to reduce stress in the body. And Tulsi is also an ancient herb that represents respect and honor. So when you eat Peace Bar, you're actually respecting who you are, which is the secret, by the way, to finding peace. During customer validations, early customer validations, I've heard that Peace Bar is amazing. I've heard it's better than Cliff Bar, and that it's a winner. And I hope you have a chance to taste some. There's some on the table. However, the bar market is very competitive. So what would make you buy Peace Bar? Well, you might buy it the first time if you thought it were healthy, and you might buy it again if you thought it were tasty. And you will buy it to satisfy your hunger for peace. The bar market, although very competitive, it's still growing, and it's projected to nearly double by 2016. And the natural food market is also growing by about 10% a year. I'm going to target the yoga market, and today in this country there's 20 million people that practice yoga, and that is also projected to grow. So as our culture just keeps rewarding faster is better, including eating on the go, a newer trend is also developed, which is how am I going to relax and how am I going to reduce stress? So Peace Bar actually satisfies the customer's needs to, one, eat on the go and eat healthy, and at the same time take a break and relax. Thus far, I've financed Peace Bar with my own personal resources, and I've built a pretty solid foundation. I own the URL peacebar.com. I have registered the trademark and own the trademark for Peace Bar. I have a healthy and tasty recipe, good packaging, and an excellent brand. So, in moving forward, I will continue with my customer validations locally, taste tests and things like that, and in the fall, I will start with social media, and I have planned a Give the Gift of Peace campaign in October for the gift-giving season. So I invite you to give peace a chance and satisfy your hunger and your hunger for peace at the same time. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Christopher Brecklin, and I founded Blueprint for a Dream because I believe that we all have a vision of what vibrant and healthy communities look like, but we don't always know how to build them. In my experience working with nonprofit leaders and government as an AmeriCorps Vista, I discovered that I'm very passionate about helping nonprofits use data to inform community development. For my work, I was chosen as one of 16 State Department fellows representing the U.S. in Turkey. I am also the Assessment and Systems Coordinator at Eastern's Center for Community Engagement. Blueprint for a Dream is helping nonprofits use data more effectively and affordably by making it easier for them to map, analyze, and communicate their social impact. I believe that measuring impact should not get in the way of helping people, and that's why our system will save time and money for nonprofits so that they can spend more energy on mission-related activities. Nonprofits across the country are currently collecting mountains of data, but it is too much of a resource drain for many of them to use it. That's why we collect the data and add it to our system. On our website, they can create custom dashboards that have maps and graphs to visualize multiple types of data. Then they can download, share, or add their professional quality visualizations to a report or newsletter. No high-tech skills required, all of this at no cost to the nonprofit. So you're probably wondering, how is he going to make any money? Well, I'll do it in two ways. One, many foundations around the country offer grants, typically between $5,000 and $15,000, to hire a consultant. Instead, we write the grant, a 501c3 applies, and then uses it to hire us. The added value of Blueprint for a Dream is that our product is dynamic and interactive, unlike a traditional consultant's report, which may end up on the shelf gathering dust. The second way that we can make money is by using all of our data to offer a custom reporting service for a subscription fee. Executives with whom I've met say that even if it will only save them 2 hours a month, that it will be worth as much as $2,000 a year. I estimate that there are 150,000 organizations in our target market, and if we can get a 5% market share for at a modest $1,200 a year subscription fee, it would bring $9 million in annual revenue. Expenses over the first 2.5 years increase mostly from the addition of staff to help the organization grow. Revenues are also a little bit slower to rise because it will take time to design and build the perfect system for nonprofits. When ready, I'm confident that Blueprint for a Dream's existing and growing support network will allow the business to scale quickly. I'm seeking a $75,000 investment, which I plan to leverage for more revenue through existing projects and contracts. I'm also seeking the guidance of an experienced tech entrepreneur who can help me navigate the sector. All of this will help with incorporation as a social enterprise, hiring part-time staff, and getting a product ready for beta testing. Blueprint for a Dream is poised to disrupt a very comfortable nonprofit technology sector. Please join me in doing that. Thank you. And I'd also like to thank reSET.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Creech, a veteran spouse and the co-founder of Combat to Career, a social enterprise to guide veterans through their transition from combat to college to career by connecting them with veteran supportive education institutions, employers, and community supporters through our web portal, combattocareer.com. The transition from combat to college to career is a difficult process with many obstacles along the way which often preclude veterans from successfully completing it. I watched my husband struggle through and ultimately not complete his transition to college after separating from the Air Force due to a lack of services to help him identify a college program that would support his needs. And unfortunately, he's not alone. There are 1 million unemployed veterans and 1 million service members that will exit the military by 2016. Many of these veterans will be seeking education as a means to train for careers in the private sector. Last year, the GI Bill provided over $10 billion in education benefits for 600,000 veteran students, but sadly, billions of these dollars went to for-profit colleges with dropout rates as high as 70%, all because the veterans are not being properly matched with colleges that will support their needs. These nonprofit colleges are anxious to recruit veterans and compete for the large sums of government money available for doing so, but they need education, training, and technology to help them target this demographic. Now, businesses are also anxious to recruit experienced veterans, and they can claim huge tax credits of up to $9,600 per veteran hired for doing so. But like the colleges, the businesses struggle to locate and engage with the veteran demographic. And thus, the Combat to Career portal was founded to provide an all-inclusive online solution to bridge the gap between veterans, colleges, employers, and supporters. Our technology provides value to veterans by providing them with a veteran-tailored college search engine, career portal, and resume builder to help them identify the best fit education programs and businesses, and by providing education institutions and companies with access to be able to recruit and seek out and build relationships with the veteran candidates they want to recruit. Our service is completely free for veterans in recognition of the service they've made to our country. But not only is Combat to Career a socially responsible company, we're also a profitable one. We generate revenue through annual subscriptions paid by businesses and colleges seeking to recruit veterans. Thus far, we've generated about $100,000 in sales for 2013, and we expect to break even by 2014. We'll generate over $30 million in annual revenue by 2016 once we launch our business nationwide. We're confident we can execute on our strategy because we have a strong team with relevant industry experience, and most importantly, we're a veteran-owned business, which gives us credibility in the marketplace. Supporting veterans is not only the right thing to do, it's the economically savvy thing to do, and I hope you'll join us in being a part of our solution. We're seeking advisors, investment, and community partners to help us scale our business nationwide. Thank you.
Final Q&A of the evening for this group. I know they were good, but.
Let's see. Keith Park. I'm sorry, I forget your name.
Karen.
I love them. They're wonderful. And I'm looking for an alternative to candy wrapped in, sold as a nutrition bar when I work out. And I think that that's a great selling point. Are they real food? What are they?
What are they? Like, what's in them completely?
And the shelf life as well.
Well, there's almonds, walnuts, cashews, cardamom. It's held together with apricots, and I chose apricots because they are the lowest amount of sugar in a dried fruit, and I needed a sticky to keep it together. If it were up to me, I would have no sugar. But I had to have a little bit. plus
So it's all natural.
It's all natural. And then again, the Tulsi and also coconut butter, which, you know, used to be that people thought coconut butter was, oil was not good for us, but in fact, recent evidence has shown that coconut oil is very heart healthy. So that's what's in there.
And shelf life?
Shelf life at this point is 2 months, and I'm working with food technologists to keep it, to extend the life, but at the same time keep it whole and healthy. So it's a challenge, a little bit of a challenge.
It tastes great.
Thank you.
Other questions? Casey?
Also for Karen, distribution is tricky with food products.
Yes.
How are you planning on approaching the challenge?
Well, you're right. It is very tricky. I've been going to start local, and I've already talked to yoga studios and local companies downtown. I live downtown Hartford. I talked to Whole Foods, and originally I thought Whole Foods would be way down the road, but talking to them, I actually felt encouraged. I talked to the manager in Glastonbury, so I know could be a long road. Lots of demos at Whole Foods, and from there, as I was told by the manager last week, if all goes well, he would refer me to West Hartford and so on and so forth. And then, of course, I'm really expecting it's going to go viral when I go to social media. So.
Are you planning on engaging any distribution partners, or are you going to drive around in a car?
I'm sorry?
With boxes? Are you going to self-distribute for a while?
Yeah, farmers markets, and I have some friends that own yoga studios, so I'll be hanging out there for a while and really getting to know what the customer, who they are, what they like, and all that.
Do you have a food manufacturer that you're working with?
Right now, I'm using a manufacturer out of state because they do low volume, and I didn't want to order 20,000 bars right now. But my dream really would be to have a manufacturer right here in downtown Hartford, so I could walk to work.
And did you have a question?
What is the price point?
The price point.
Yeah. How much will a bar cost?
At this point, I'm charging $3 a bar, which is, Cliff's sales are for $1, but there's actually bars out there that are selling for $5 or $6. And I've been told by gourmet distributors that I could sell my bar for $5 or $6, but I'm trying to keep it at $3.
Other questions, Dave?
I've got one for Charlotte. I know everyone's giving you some questions, but have you thought sort of like in the Newman Zone type of thing, where a portion goes to maybe peace initiatives?
I have 2 ideas. I am a member of the Peace Academy. I've contacted them in New York City. And I've also talked to the YMCA because I'm an educator, a nutrition educator. So I would like to work with the YMCA, and I'm having conversations with them to provide what I like to call peaceful lifestyle classes, which includes nutrition.
Can I ask Charlotte a question? Competitors.
Sure. So there are lots of alternatives. The VA provides support services, and there are a bunch of nonprofits, but there's nobody that's focused on veterans in higher education. There's lots of companies doing the direct transition from the military to the corporate workforce, but in our market research, employers are saying, well, we need to be able to understand the military transcript and extrapolate the skills. And so the best way for us to understand who a veteran is and what skills they bring is by supporting it with higher education. So we're really focusing on first matching the veterans with the right school, and then following through their journey so that we can connect them with internships and jobs, and the employers that are coming on, can really get to know the veteran student and sort of the try before you buy. So that it's really a continuum along the process. Mark?
For Charlotte, what's the volume of servicemen and women that will be going through your site this year versus next year?
It's tough to say because we've just launched, so we don't really have any past history in terms of veteran traffic, but in terms of the overall market, there's 2.5 million post 9/11 veterans, so that would be the target market. And of those, it's expected that 1 million of them will enroll in higher education over the next few years. So since there's not really any alternative service to match them with college programs right now, we would expect to be able to get a fairly significant chunk of that target market.
So to follow up, how many programs would you be matching those to?
So we've partnered with the Department of Education, and we have the entire database for every college across the United States. So we're not only saying, you know, choose one of these 10 colleges that subscribes to our site. We're saying, here's every college across the United States. You can sort through and filter these colleges. But the unique part about our business is that we've manually collected the data on what veteran support services these programs will provide, so that a veteran can literally come on our college search engine and say, I want to go to a school, you know, 4-year school in Connecticut, and I want it to have or be within 10 miles of the nearest VA hospital and to have a Student Veterans of America chapter on campus. And they will be able to connect, you know, identify which programs match their search criteria through our site.
Other questions? All right, excellent. Then I'd like to invite everybody back up so we can give them all another warm round of applause for all of their hard work. It really has been a pleasure working with all of you over the last 10 and a half weeks. They've showed up every single Friday morning for the last 10 weeks. Bleary-eyed from working on things from the night before and all week before, and questioning and saying, man, you're driving us crazy. But they've risen to the challenge every single time, and the amount of progress and what they have to show for it today has just been so incredible to see. In your programs, there's a brief synopsis of each of their businesses again, so that you don't have to go home and say, who was that and what were they doing? And their contact information is in there as well, their email addresses. So please make it a point to come up and speak with them in the next few minutes or so. Hang out as long as you'd like. But please also make an effort to follow up if one of these businesses are of interest to you. Thank you all so much for coming this evening and for supporting reSET and for supporting all these entrepreneurs. We've had a blast. Thank you.
Thank you.